So to start our easy sinking ant, I have a size 10 standard dry fly hook in the vise. And I'm going to come in at the rear here, and I'm going to start dressing this with some red thread. We like to do the abdomen on this in red very often. You can also do it in black if you wish. We've had a lot of success off of the red abdomen though. So basically what you're going to do here first and foremost is use your thread to eyeball how big that rear abdomen is going to be. So try to get it in proportion to your actual hook, because this is building the body of that ant. So to get a little proportion in there, kind of imagine that hook being the overall body length of this ant. So the abdomen is going to be, the most pronounced part of the body. Really, it's generally going to be just ahead of the hook point. And I tend to take a little bit of it just down the bend ever so slightly. And we're going to use our thread here to start building up that sort of ant abdomen shape. We're going to come in with resin to really fill it out, but we don't want to rely on a ton of resin because we can get a fair amount of weight pretty quickly if we're getting all of our bulk out of resin. So we want to cut down on that a little bit and get the bulk of that shape out of this thread. So you can see I'm just trying to get that basic abdomen shape. So I'm, kind of conical shaped, building it up towards the center, having it taper down in both directions. And that's about right. So here you can really just half hitch because this is going to get totally covered in resin. So no need to lose sleep over your knot here. Once we've got that built up, we're ready to move on to the actual resin. So I'm just going to come in with some UV resin now, apply it to our little abdomen here, and build that up. And I'll put a fair amount on there. If we have to take some out, we'll take some out. A rotary vise is going to help you a lot here. If you're using UV resins, you can get away without it. If you're using a 2-part epoxy for this process, you're going to need to keep that thing moving pretty much the whole time. So just keep that in mind based on what your setup is. I want everything to be nice and covered. It's going to have that nice, natural, crystally look to it. Just like that. That looks great. We want it to be, relatively close and hugging all of the thread wraps so that we get a nice red abdomen out of it. If you have too much epoxy, it's just going to be super clear. So to make it look its fullest, we don't want a ton of sagging epoxy, if that makes sense. So just keep that in mind. I'll usually kind of move it until I'm not seeing a bunch of clear spots. And as soon as I see that, I'll come in and I'll hit it with my light and set it. All right, that is that part done. Now we're going to come in with a black 6/0 thread and we'll finish this guy out. I'm just going to start that thread up at the hook eye there and start dressing back. And now I'm just going to go ahead and tie in a couple pieces of peacock herl. I'm going to wrap that peacock herl all the way back to that rear abdomen. Now I'm going to come right in here just about at the 1/3 point, and I'm going to tie in some micro legs, and I have 4 strands of that. We're just looking for the impression of legs here. We're not looking for anything anatomically correct. We just want some legs, we want some movement, and this is going to achieve that. I get these legs from Fly Tyers Dungeon. They have a sort of spandexy type micro leg, which is great. These things are super, super tough. So just tie those in, going across the sides. very traditional beetle style. Once you've got those in, go ahead and advance your thread up to the eye. And now we are going to just start wrapping with that peacock herl up to the eye. Once I get to the legs, I do a wrap over and a wrap over again. Just kind of coax those legs where you want them to be while you do that. There we go. And advance that right up to the front. Capture it, tie it off, avoiding all those legs, of course. And then just palmer everything back out of your way so that you can start to build up a head a little bit. There we go. Whip finish. Head cement of choice, of course. So now I'm just going to come in and tinker on those legs a little bit. I kind of want them to go, you know, in whatever random direction they want to go. And I will take those legs, bring them back, and just eyeball cutting them off in the neighborhood of the bend. There it is. This thing fishes great. I whipped these up a long time ago. I've always really enjoyed fishing ant patterns, and I wanted something that got the point across. I kind of slapped this together, and it just ended up being one of those slapped together, producers that's just become a thing. And it's anti, but it's also very buggy at the same time. So I think you're covering more bases than just ant. This particular combination has been our best producer with the red abdomen. Of course, you can do it in all black. You can experiment with different colors. We've had some success off kind of a psycho-y chartreuse version, but this one hands down has been the best producer. They're very easy to tie. Once you get the feel of working on just a few basic things here, you can whip these out quick, and you're going to want a bunch of them in your box because they produce really well. So tie some up. Hope you enjoy it. Thanks for watching the video. Tight lines, and God bless.